2 Samuel 19. I read from the Institute for Scripture Research, the ISR, because it takes a direct translation from Hebrew to English, Greek to English, and Aramaic to English. YahWeh, Yah short. Yah is the Elohim of the heavens and the earth, the first and the last and the only. Yah is a very jealous El. He doesn't even want the names of idols or mighty ones to come to our lips. And his son Yehoshua died on a stake for the sins of all of humanity more than 2,000 years ago, and the letter J is about 600 years old. Well, Yehoshua in English is Joshua. 2 Samuel 19. And it was reported to Joab, see, the sovereign is weeping and mourning for Absalom. So the deliverance that day was turned into mourning for all the people. For the people heard that day, saying, the sovereign has been grieved for his son. And the people stole back into the city that day, as people who are ashamed steal away from when they flee in battle. And the sovereign covered his face, and the sovereign cried out with a loud voice, O my son Absalom, O Absalom, my son, my son. You know, to think about this, if David hadn't taken Bathsheba and laid with her, even though she was married, and then send Uriah out on the front lines to be killed, this stuff wouldn't be happening to him. And Joab came into the house of the sovereign and said, today you have put to shame all the servants who today have served your life and the lives of your sons and daughters and the lives of your wives and the lives of your concubines, by loving those who hate you and by hating those who love you. Wait, what? For you have made it clear today that you have neither commanders nor servants. For today I know that if Absalom had lived and all of us had all died, then it would be right in your eyes. And now arise, go out and speak to the heart of your servants. For I swear by Yah, if you do not go out, not one passes the night with you. And that is worse for you than all the evil that has come upon you from your youth until now. So the sovereign rose up and sat in the gate, and they told all the people, saying, look, the sovereign is sitting in the gate. And all the people came before the sovereign. As for Israel, they had fled, each one to his tent, and it came to be that all the people were contending throughout all the tribes of Israel, saying, the sovereign delivered us from the hand of the enemies. He rescued us from the hand of the Philistines, and now he has fled from the land because of Absalom. And Absalom, who we anointed over us, has died in battle, and now why are you silent about bringing back the sovereign? And the sovereign David sent to Sadak and Abiathar the priests, saying, speak to the elders of Yehudah, saying, why are you the last to bring the sovereign back to his house, since the words of all Israel have come to the sovereign to his house? It's a question. You are my brothers, you are my bone and my flesh. Why then are you the last to bring back the sovereign? And say to Amasa, are you not my bone and my flesh? Elohim do so to me, and more also, if you are not commander of the army before all the days in place of Joab. Thus he swayed the hearts of all the men of Yehudah as one man, so that they set the sovereign, saying, return, you and all your servants. So the sovereign returned and came to the Jordan, and Yehudah came to Gilgal to go to meet the sovereign, to bring the sovereign over the Jordan. And Shimei, son of Gera, a Benjamite, who was from Bahurim, hastened and came down with the men of Yehudah to meet sovereign David, and with him there And with him were 1,000 men of Benjamin, and Seba the servant of the house of Shaul, and his 15 sons, and his 20 servants with him, and they rushed over the Jordan before the sovereign, and they passed over the ford to bring over the sovereign's household, and to do what was good in his eyes. And Shimei son of Gera fell down before the sovereign when he had passed over the Jordan, and said to the sovereign, Do not let my master reckon crookedness to me, neither remember what wrong your servant did on the day that my servant the sovereign left Jerusalem, and the sovereign should take it to heart, or that the sovereign should take it to heart. For I, your servant, know that I have sinned, and see, I have come today, first of all the house of Joseph, to go down to meet my master the sovereign. But Abishai son of Syria answered and said, Should Shimei not be put to death for this, because he cursed the anointed of Elohim? I knew David was anointed. I was just waiting to hear it again. And David said, What have I to do with you, you sons of Syria, that you are to be adversaries to me today? Should any man be put to death in Israel today? For do I not know that I am sovereign over Israel today? So the sovereign said to Shimei, You do not die. And the sovereign swore to him. And Mephibosheth, son of Shaul, came down to meet the sovereign, and he had not attended to his feet, nor trimmed his mustache, nor washed his garments from the day the sovereign went away until the day he came back in peace. And it came to be, when he had come to Jerusalem to meet the sovereign, that the sovereign said to him, Why did you not go with me, Mephibosheth? And he answered, My master, O sovereign, my servant deceived me. For your servant said, I am saddling a donkey for myself to ride on it and go to the sovereign, because your servant is lame. And he spoke slander against your servant to my master the sovereign. But my master the sovereign is as a messenger of Elohim. Therefore do what is good in your eyes. For all my father's house were but dead men before my master the sovereign. Yet you set your servant among those who eat at your own table. Therefore what right have I still to cry out any more to the sovereign? Then the sovereign said to him, Why do you speak any more of your matters? I have said, You and Tisba share the land. And Mephibosheth said to the sovereign, Rather let him take it all, since my master the sovereign has come back in peace to his own house. And Barzillai the Gileadite came down from Rogelim and passed over the Jordan with the sovereign to send him on his way over the Jordan. And Barzillai was a very aged man, 80 years old, and he had sustained the sovereign while he was dwelling at Mahanaim, for he was a very rich man. And the sovereign said to Barzillai, Pass over with me, and I shall prove for you with me in Jerusalem. But Barzillai said to the sovereign, How many are the days of my life that I should go up with the sovereign of Jerusalem? I am now 80 years old. Do I discern between the good and evil? Does your servant taste what I eat or what I drink? Do I still hear the voice of singing men and singing women? Why then should your servant be a further burden to my master the sovereign? Your servant would only pass over the Jordan with the sovereign for a short distance, and why should the sovereign repay me with such a reward? Please let your servant turn back again to die in my own city, near the burial site of my father and mother. But here is your servant Kimham, Kimham. let him pass over with my master the sovereign, and do for him what is good in your eyes. And the sovereign answered, Kimham is passing over with me, and let me do for him what is good in your eyes. Now whatever you choose for me, I do for you. Then all the people went over the Jordan, and when the sovereign had passed over, the sovereign kissed Barzillai and blessed him, and he returned to his own place. And the sovereign passed over to Gilgal, and Kimham passed over with him. And all the people of Yehuda brought the sovereign over, and also half the people of Israel. And see, all the men of Israel were coming to the sovereign. And they said to the sovereign, Why have our brothers, the men of Yehuda, stolen you away, and brought the sovereign and his household, and all David's men with him over the Jordan? And all the men of Yehuda answered the men of Israel, Because the sovereign is our relative, and why are you displeased over this matter? Have we at all eaten at the sovereign's cost, or has he given us any gift? And the men of Israel answered the men of Yehuda and said, We have 10 parts in the sovereign, and in David too we have more than you. Why then did you despise us? Was it not our advice first to bring back our sovereign? But the words of the men of Yehuda were harsher than the words of the men of Israel. Harsher or more factual? I don't really care about harshness. I care more about the facts. Probably why I come across so harsh. Because again, I don't really care about the facts.